Good evening, guys. Warm welcome. Hope you are able to hear and see me. So, today we are going to take up one important topic which is very much essential for inventory control as well as management. What is FSN? Can anyone type in the comment? What do we mean by FSN? Can some of you type in the comments? What is meant by FSN? We will see how to do it and why it is important in inventory management. Of course, participants, can you type the expansion for the word FSN? Still no one. What is FSN? What for it stands for? Oh, it's not food safety network. It is right. Ali Akbar has given the correct answer. Fast moving, slow moving, and non moving item. Yes, Akbar, that's the correct. You need to classify the item into these three or maybe four categories: fast moving, slow moving, and non moving items. This is very important in inventory management in the sense how we are going to plan for inventory for different categories, as well as how do you plan for storage in the warehouse, which location you are going to provide for these items. It is slightly different from how we do ABC classification, because ABC is based on value of the item. Here the value is not so much important. Here we are only looking in terms of movement, turns, how fast the item is able to turn, and accordingly we need to plan in the terms of inventory as well as space planning. So welcome again. If you need any questions, you can type in the comment. I am able to see the comment. On the other hand, our executives are also there online. If you need any communication information, you are always welcome to contact. Either you can contact our staff in their WhatsApp number. Now I am sharing the screen. Hope you will be able to see the screen in a few. Yes. Are you able to see the screen? If you are able to see, maybe you can comment, say yes. So here in the screen, you are seeing two category. One is FSN and another one is FMSN. Of course, M is also introduced. Many organization, instead of three category, they do four category for better inventory management. Here M denotes medium moving. Okay, other terms remains the same. So once again, welcome to the program. My name is Pattabhi Raman. I am based in Bangalore. This is my LinkedIn profile. If anyone wants to connect with me, you are welcome to connect with me. As far as my profile is concerned, I am now behind qualification or certifications at the moment. I have nearly 2.5 decades experience in this type of organization, predominantly in supply chain management, and I have handled all domains inside the supply chain. with a practical application. And in my last assignment, I was heading the supply chain as a general manager, head of supply chain in a European MNC. And last 4 years, I am CEO of Thoughtware Training Private Limited. Coming to the certification, hope most of you are aware about topics. Anyone not aware about topics? Yes or no, you can type in the comments so that I can give a brief introduction if need be. If you are especially in the job market, you need to have some type of a globally recognized certification. That's where Apex from AACM provides three different certification depending upon core supply chain or logistics or uh, mainly here no purchase from them. You can also see a similar organization from Demand Driven Institute. Anyone heard about Demand Driven Institute? You can comment. If not, you can always visit demanddriveninstitute.com. They also offer a parallel degree similar to OPIX. Not degree, it's also a certification like Demand Driven Planner Professional. Okay, I am also a certified purchasing manager from Institute of Supply Management and a project management professional and qualified in business analytics. Coming to our organization, we are based in Bangalore and a 4 year organization. We provide both consulting and training in the field of supply chain, purchasing, logistic, and analytics related to it. We are an affiliate for Demand Driven Institute and we operate in the name of Expert SEM. Coming next, we provide both the executive diploma and a certificate in the domains of supply chain, logistic management, and supply chain analytics. Apart from that, all global certification program, we provide the training. If any information is required with respect to this training, you can approach us. You can comment. I hope you can see some of our executives' WhatsApp number is available. Now coming to FSN. So most of you told FSN means fast, slow, non-moving, and if we introduce a medium, it becomes four classification. As we have been discussing, it is required for inventory planning. Possibly, you can link it with the budget, how much you can provide for each category, and you should always keep enough money towards fast moving goods, but at the same time try to control other classifications. Possibly we need this classification even in terms of space management. Okay. So coming next, how do we classify? Anyone has an idea? Can you type in the comments in what way you can identify or classify the goods into this either three categories, three or four categories? You can type in the comments. How do you classify the item into fast or slow or medium moving? You can comment. Any idea what will be the basis for classifying the item into FSN? You can type your answers. Let us see before we proceed. What is your idea? How we can classify? Like ABC, we know we are classifying based on the quantity as well as the price, and then we are classifying it. But in case of FSN, how do we classify? Okay, Gautam, welcome Gautam. Thanks for being online. So, based on sales or consumption, fine. Noik says based on demand, fast will be in regular demand, good. So, mainly it is starting with consumption rate of a product. It could be also a demand, so we can use a different name there. Then, how much time this item is there in the inventory? Okay, here value is not so much important, but we are trying to see how fast this item is moving inside your organization. And you should also note what period you are considering, whether it's for a week or month or for a year. It all depends upon the type of product you are dealing it, and this information is required. One more way is doing is, if you have a aging analysis, yes, final, this classification is possible from your ERP. You can extract the item, seeing the consumption. You can also make a specific query to get a format. We used to do like this in a aging format. For example, item in the stock but never used, maybe last 3 years, 4 years, no consumption, so you can directly classify them as a dead stock. Whereas if this item not continuously used in the last 12 months, maybe year, not even one time there is a consumption in the last 12 months, then you can classify them as slow moving. Okay. I have also mentioned 24 months because it all depends upon type of category of product you are dealing with. If you are in the spare parts, you cannot declare them as slow moving very fast, like a conventional manufacturing organization. So if you are in the spare parts market, maybe 24 months, if you are not using it, you can classify them as slow moving. And if not used continuously either for 6 or 12 months, you can consider them as medium moving. And if there is a consumption even at one time in the last 6 months, you can classify them as a fast moving. Even your finance department makes a provision for the dead stock. Many times they will also define the dead stock as well as non-moving inventory. Maybe you have to check with your finance department and also your inventory policy, how you are classifying. If there is no classification available, you are welcome to define it, because unless you define it, you will not make use of it for improving your inventory. Okay, coming to fast moving, there is one rough idea. Even you can go in terms of inventory turnover. As per the general guidelines, if some item is doing more than 3 turns in an year, you can assume fast. But now it seems to be more or less redundant. Now items are moving faster than 10 turns. For me, if you consider more than 10 tons in a year, you can classify them as a fast moving. So if you have method to calculate ITO, you can also classify the item based on that. And some of the characteristic of fast moving item is always it's a low profit margin. So you should be able to control, monitor, keep checking, because the margin is low because it is fast moving. So you need to do frequent replenishment. Most of the item non-durable and relatively low cost. Okay, but though these need not be correct. But for example, in our organization, it was a durable and relatively high cost. Also, we were classifying as a fast moving depending on consumption. From your side, anyone, how do you consider the fast moving item? How do you classify? I have given some hint, maybe ITO or aging report. What way you will use to classify the item? Have you done it before? Can you type in the comments? How do you generally classify? What method do you use? Will you go by ITO method or aging report? How do you do? Please type in the comment. So I am waiting for the answer. Who is the first? Do you have any other method to classify? I'm eager to know. Depending upon your product, possibly you may have a different method. Do anyone have a different method for classification? Okay, Ajay says inventory turnover. What about others? I told two ways. Anyone else has a different idea? How can you classify as FSN item? You can keep typing in the comments. So fast moving, why we have to classify is you need to treat this inventory differently. Like we know in ABC, we are giving some type of a preferential treatment in for A class, whereas C class we treat them differently. Same way, the inventory management for fast moving item should also be in a different approach. For example, stock, it should be always available. Okay, you should not make any stock out or shortage of such item. So you can be liberal, at the same time you should have a control. Okay, because you have a lower profit margin, you should regularly check whether it's fast moving, because today what is moving fast, maybe after a few weeks or months it can become slow moving. In that way, some type of a high control is required for fast moving item. And frequently you have to check in terms of physical versus system stock. Okay, it could be inventory accuracy we are talking when we are talking about checking. And safety stock can also be high for the fast moving item. So it is opposite to ABC classification. In A, it may be opposite to what we do in fast. So that's where you have to distinguish between ABC categorization and FSN categorization. Okay, right? Then coming to the other extreme end, I am not talking about medium. Maybe whatever we discuss in between fast and slow moving, you can define the metrics. Here, generally, slow moving could be IT or less than one, could be a slow moving item. Okay, but you will see that majority of your item in your list, if you do even based on ITO, you classify all the item, you will see roughly 50 to 60% of the item will be in this category. So this is be a big problem for the supply chain management professional, because you cannot also directly eliminate, but you have to continuously monitor and see what are the reasons why it has become slow moving. Can you take up with your sales what way we can improve that? Because if you don't keep a control, possibly obsolescence may be there. You may be unnecessarily wasting money for holding stock, and you cannot use this item after a few years because new models being introduced. So in terms of inventory control, you can see the summary. We have seen fast moving and non moving on the two extreme. On the middle you can have intermediate, either it's slow moving or medium moving, you can see. Okay, so there is a clear distinction between ABC and FSN analysis. You can you can see, if you map your inventory, it may look like this. You can see in the pie chart, the fast moving can be only 10 to 20%, whereas slow moving can be roughly around 30 to 40%, whereas the non-moving item may be in majority area, but still you cannot avoid. But maybe you have to see how you can minimize this. Okay, this classification is also important in terms of space management. Okay, now you can type your comments. How do you manage the space for fast moving goods? Where you will keep it? Any idea? Can you comment? In a warehouse layout, this 10% of the item contributes to the fast moving goods. Where do you place them in the warehouse layout? Can you type in the comments? where you are going to keep the fast moving goods. Then we can come to other categories where you will keep this item in the warehouse. Please type. We have seen in terms of inventory management, but it is also important for warehouse management in terms of delivery process. You have to facilitate easy accessibility and picking the item. So where do you place this item in the warehouse? What is the ideal location for example fast moving goods? You can type in the comments. Nearest to load offload dock area. Good, Mr. Amar Ramadan. Noik says maybe somewhere it can be moved easily. Which is that somewhere location is the question now. Where is the location? We know that this item there should not be any hindrance in either unloading or picking or dispatching. So what could be the location in the warehouse where it can be handled very easily? Anyone has a different idea, or do we agree with Mr. Amir Ramadan? Do we agree with him? You can comment here. The mode of communication to me is only through the comments. Otherwise, you cannot talk to me in this type of program. You can always type. Where do you store fast moving goods? Okay, I will go with Mr. Amar Ramadan. You need to keep this item somewhere near to the dispatch area, as near to dispatch area as possible, or maybe receiving area could also be okay if it is side by side. So when it is coming to medium moving, possibly you can need keep in some intermediate location. But coming to dead stock, you can keep it far away because you are not going to use this item more frequently. Okay, so the idea in the warehouse location is you need to calculate and also monitor this item. Since we were talking about this item becoming changing the classification soon, maybe once in 3 or 4 months, you can do that classification and change the stocking location. Okay, slow is, you need not keep in the main location. Coming to the Excel program, it can also be done in the Excel, or if you have a huge data, maybe we also train candidates on supply chain analytics. It's a part of some e-commerce data where we were able to do the FSN analysis. If the data is more, for example, if you have 1 million data, then possibly you cannot use Excel. That's where SQL or Python will help you. Okay, here we have the data on what is the order quantity, and you can see the Excel. We have some data, others may be relevant or irrelevant. So I know what is the quantity being supplied in this period. You should also know the period, and depending on that I am sorting out Maybe I am classifying the top 10% as the fast moving. Maybe this is also one method. If you don't want to calculate ITO, which cannot be precise, also you can do a sorting based on order quantity. That alone is sufficient. Order quantity, or if you know the number of orders and quantity as per each order, if you are able to arrive at total ordered quantity, you can sort them and use the top items for classification. Okay. So hope this session was meaningful to you. If you need any clarification, you can either type it in the comment. We provide training especially on supply chain analytics, especially this type of classification. If you have huge data, doing it in Excel can be a problem. That's where you need to learn some analytical tool like Python or SQL, where you can import the data. But once again, they are only the tools, but you should have the basic knowledge about how we can classify where are this data. If you are not capturing the data, how you can capture the data. So that knowledge should be available. Using analytical tools is a secondary, but you should know how you can classify. Any clarification you can type. Was this session useful? If you need any discussion on future topic, maybe you can put it in the comments so that we can meet. I am trying to come online maybe at least 3 or 4 days in a week. If you need to discuss any specific topic, you can type in the comments. Was this session useful? Okay, thank you for participating. Thanks for your time. We'll see next time. Bye.